In 2017, in Ann Arbor, there was the World Peace Conference 2017, and I think a number of you were there. And from that evolved working together, especially with Dr. Fred Pearson from Detroit Rotary and the Wayne State Center for Peace and Conflict Studies. There followed in the next 2 years, 2 Peace in the Streets, and here we are. This is wonderful. Now let's see if this little thing works. So who we are, Taking Action for Peace. We are a tri-district group.
We're comprised of over 10 Rotary clubs are represented here and several individuals throughout 3 districts, 6380, 6400, and 6600.
6600, in case you don't know, is northwestern Ohio, Toledo area. So here was the beginning. You'll see there's Jennifer Jones, Michelangelo Caruso is there, probably a few other familiar faces. Followed by 2 Peace in the Streets events.
Right, this was the Rainbow Connection. This is the point in time where Noel Jackson started to announce to us in 6400 that he was going to create the Rainbow Connection. You may have remembered during his year. And one of those connections was the Peace Connection. And through that, Therese and Dr. Fred Pearson, were the co-chairs of that, and they put together several good events, including our picnic that we had, where we acknowledged and honored members of the community who we felt did a good job. Each club got to kind of nominate somebody who may not have known that they were a peace builder, and we got together at a picnic at the Taylor Conservatory.
The pandemic changed everything, of course, and instead of in-person events, we pivoted to online, like working on implicit bias.
The Civility Project.
Yes.
Faith in Blue. We recognize, too, that in working in peace, it can start from within. We sing that song at the end of our conference, Let Peace Begin With Me. And also we talked about the muscle memory that PJ was describing when there's a very stressful situation. And if you practice how to get through those situations, you become a better person and you're more apt to maybe respond to something in a more peaceful way. And through the trainings of implicit bias, restorative justice, and some of the other programs that we have coming forward are opportunities for you to learn some of those techniques.
Yes, definitely. We talked about important issues in some of these. We had researchers from the Institute for Firearm Injury Protection at the U of M who spoke to us and impressed on us how gun safety needs to begin to be viewed like using seatbelts, which was a big cultural change in this country. It's a public health issue.
Of course, I get the party slide. So we, again, during COVID, we could not meet in person, but we did start to sort of come out of that shell and realize that there is a strong need, especially for those who were suffering from loneliness and other mental health issues, that we needed to get together. We decided to put together a multicultural peace, and it was a peace party that we called it. Again, that was at the Taylor Conservatory. You'll see in the slide here that there are several representatives from the 3 different districts, including some governors and past district governors there. We enjoyed a full day of music and art, poetry, singing, and then again, Dr. Fred Pearson with the Wayne State Center for Peace and Conflict Resolution gave out a couple of awards to people who were tremendous peace builders.
We worked for months to have another in-person conference in Ann Arbor, but COVID continued to be a problem, and we decided to focus on smaller bite-sized events. During this time, a couple of our committee members attended the Canadian Rotary Action Group Against Slavery. This was a Zoom event. They were inspired to bring awareness to the 2nd largest criminal enterprise in the world. That's right, human trafficking, 2nd largest. We hosted 2 movie events showing the pursuit of freedom about a Ukrainian woman who was sold into human trafficking to pay her husband's gambling debts. And in the meantime, District 6600 hosted an International Human Trafficking and Social Justice Conference. And we planned, Therese primarily planned, Beyond Their Stories. This was a human trafficking conference at Henry Ford College. We had about 200 people. Our planning committee included not just Rotarians, but academics, nonprofit human trafficking resources. These were people running homes for women in particular who had been trafficked, and some amazing survivor advocates who told their stories. This was a very powerful experience.
I could just interject there too that Therese has, sorry to keep saying your name, Therese, but that there is about a 20-minute, 15 to 20-minute presentation that came out of the Taking Action for Peace Human Trafficking Conference that we can present at the club level. So if you would like for us to present, and by us I mean Therese, to come to your club and she can present to your club, and there are some actual things that you can do to be involved, and that's what we're about, taking action for peace, and we can give you those resources. Again, we traveled, Therese and I, to see our good friend Brian Rush. We had the honor of meeting Sylvia Whitlock, who, of course, I know is going to be celebrated here soon with her 90th birthday. But this was the Peace Conference for a district in California, and it focused on mental health, which again is just a super important part of peace, to know yourself and know how you respond, and then also to learn how to be empathetic to others who you may not realize what internal struggles they're having at the time of whatever you're encountering with them.
Then October 7th happened, and we searched for how best to respond, what kind of programs that we could present, but there were so many organizations already doing this sort of thing. We did look for organizations on the ground in Israel and Palestine that had been successfully doing work for a period of time. And we found the Parents Circle, and we had this online conversation in March. The Parents Circle and Families Forum is a joint Israeli-Palestinian organization made up of more than 700 bereaved families. What they all have in common is that they've lost at least one close family member to the conflict. But instead of choosing revenge, they've chosen a path of reconciliation. So we heard from these two speakers, both of whom had harrowing stories to tell, both of whom had family losses, a son, a daughter, and again, it was a powerful experience. At about the same time, we met with the Rotary Action Group for Peace Executive Director, Michael Hayes, and a former board member. We met virtually, of course. They suggested that we offer a webinar to better prepare ourselves and other attendees for how to have these difficult conversations around this issue and others.
Right, so this was, I think several of the people in this room actually attended this. We had people from all over the world, which is great to do. I understand that we're challenged from our Rotary leadership to do more things on Zoom or some type of platform that will include everybody, again, to be more inclusive. But the empathy and peace language workshop, we heard and saw slides, but then we also had a breakout session where we were able to talk and share some of our own experiences, mostly for self-examination of our intentions and how do we perceive people and how do we take in what people are talking to us about and being empathetic and learning those skills.
So we're asking ourselves now, what next? Because there's no shortage of peace-related topics, and there's probably a Rotary Action Group around it already. But why is peace one of Rotary's pillars? And it has been since the very beginning, as you know. It's more than the absence of violence. It's more than ending wars. It's ensuring there is justice for all. So Rotary and the Institute for Economics and Peace, IEP, have partnered, and IEP has developed the 8 Pillars of Positive Peace. They offer a training online, and you'll see the 8 items in these circles are things that are necessary for any community to be healthy and well-run, any city, any state, any country, or the world. According to IEP's 2023 Global Peace Index, the global economic impact of violence in 2022 was $17.5 trillion. That is not a typo. I love this quote from John Hugo, General Secretary of Rotary International. We in this room, you, are unofficial diplomats and peace builders of our age. When you build a system for clean water, you are a peace builder. When you help out a student struggling to graduate, you are a peace builder. When you launch any project to support education, health, economic development in your local community or elsewhere, you are building the optimal conditions for positive peace. So, trying to gather all of these many topics, some of the future action, taking action for peace project ideas we have, one Lauren mentioned is a speakers forum where we will come to your club and talk about human trafficking. We have a couple of movies that can be followed by panels and facilitated discussion. We Can Be Heroes, about a boxer in Detroit who struggled with addiction and mental health issues. Connecting the environment and peace through the proliferation of peace poles, pollinator gardens, and butterfly benches. And again, Beth, thank you for the setup for that. We're also offering, we don't know how many each year, but 1/2, 3/4, one-day conferences. And these are just some of the topics that we might be offering in the future. And just to get some more fun visuals, it's not off the topic, as we know. Sorry I don't have any 6400 Clubs slides, but we want them. We have developed a map that shows the location of peace poles in 6380. We need to find out where they are in Canada, and we want to have 6400's peace poles on this map as well. One of our members asked, why peace poles? Ruth Dufresne answered, if you look at the state the world is in, it's easy to feel hopeless and alone. But if I walked into a park and saw a peace pole, I would find fellowship there, and it would give me hope. And didn't you just tell me, Erin, that?
Yes, I learned that our Rotary incoming president, Stephanie Urchek, is encouraging us all to plant a peace pole every club, and I think I might have heard that from Nick and Jen over here, as you all did too. And there are postcards here at the registration table for DISCON, and we do have our Taking Action for Peace registration table in the back that you can, again, just by registering, just means that you can note whether or not you want to serve on a committee, you have some ideas for programs for the district, or maybe you just want to be included when we have programs and be invited to attend those. So there's a postcard there, and then there's also, not to steal your thunder, but Marcia made a fabulous resource of different links to different areas throughout Rotary and just in general, that where you may want to serve in some capacity pertaining to peace, but those links are all on one page. So I would encourage you to give us your email so that we can send that document to you so that you have all of those live links.
In our district, Peace Committee just purchased this traveling peace pole because we do offer a program. We've done a couple in 6400, even at clubs, on the topic, what in the world is Rotary doing around its pillar of peace? So now we have this to take with us. It has French, Spanish, and Potawatomi. So Taking Action for Peace, this tri-district initiative, is a place for all Rotarians to gather, to work on projects and events. We welcome you to join us. You can contact Erin, Therese, or myself, or sign up over there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.